When building a routine, have you ever thought about the energy that you have to give, the time that it takes, and really how you're showing up? Well, I want you to think about when you don't have your energy, when you don't really have the time, and that you are just showing up for messy, unorganized routine. And honestly, it's not going to make you productive. It's really not going to make you stay consistent and be disciplined. And your energy is just going to fall off track. And over time, you are going to lose your routine. You're going to fall off that consistency train, and you are just going to give up on your dreams, on your goals, and that organization that you set for yourself by building a routine. Well, that's what we're talking about today. We are going to talk about how you can build a routine for success to stay consistent, be the most productive self, know your energy, give it your all for what you have that day, and show up when there is no motivation, and be disciplined by having what you need for success. So welcome back to Balance While Blooming. My name is Bridget. I'm 26 years old. I'm a wife, a stepmom. I work a full 9 to 5. I have multi-passions, and I am just living my best life. And here I share all the ways that you can live your best life by believing in yourself, building the life of your dreams, balancing your day-to-day life, blooming consistently until you become this next level, this person of your dreams. And today we are talking about all things routines and systems. I'm really excited because not only do we talk about that, we talk about mindset, we talk about how to show up for yourself, how to really build this life of your dreams, and creating routines and systems are just one aspect of that. So let's jump right into today's video. When you are creating a routine, it really is a layer of systems. I think that systems are so important because you need that flow. You need to be able to complete this system without a strict routine. So routine is something that is structured from one thing to the next, and that routine is going to help you find that flow. But it's also important that you understand that systems can change. You still have the same task, the same outcome, but you can shift as you need to from your day-to-day life and start creating a to-do list and not a must-do list by understanding that your routines can shift and change depending on the energy that you have. So creating a system of different routines to be your most productive self. When you have no motivation, you just need a little bit less of a structure, and that you make it foolproof and bulletproof, that you will still show up and fully go in because you will be disciplined, understanding that there's an easy, a medium, and a hard for you to show up for yourself. It's really important that these systems that you are creating is also creating a routine, because a routine is something that you need. Routine is that structure, and our bodies live on a structure. But I also want to remind you, as women, that we are living on a different cycle than men. It's really important that we understand that we are working with a 24 to 30 day period where most men can reset and recycle every 24 hours, and that's why they can show up as efficiently and the best of their ability, and the understanding and that we each have energy and levels, that we have peak times. Are you a morning person? Are you a night person? Where do you sit where you have the most energy? Where is your mood change? When will you peak? When will you dip? And how are you going to handle those off days when you are just not ready to show up? And then how can you show up when you're ready to go all in? And how can you plan for that within reason for yourself for success? That's what we're talking about today. I cannot believe that I have never talked about this before. I never even really thought about it. I used to be so structured in a routine, and then I started getting into systems, and then I learned about this, and it changed my entire life. Creating our ideal routine and working from there for the essentials, and finding that balance in between of what we do on our low energy days and what we can do on our best days, and how we can find that even ground in the middle to show up as our best self one day at a time. Creating your ideal routine, if everything worked out perfectly, if you could show up as your best self with all the energy, with all the excitement, and everything worked out the way you want it, what would that look like for monthly, weekly, daily? Think about every area of life, from chores, activities, movement, family time. When would you have date nights? What would your self-care routine look like? What would that dream life look like? You need to leave time for life, for things to come up in reality, but what would that ideal routine look like? Talk about your morning routines, talk about your nighttime routines. What systems have you already created? Getting ready for work. What do you do when you are working on your passions? How are you doing it to clean your house? How are you worrying about your money? What systems do you need to create? And create one for maybe every single area of life and the main tasks that you have. So for me, I have a morning routine. I have a nighttime routine. I have when I get home from work. I have getting ready for work. I have my workout routines. I have my chore and cleaning routines. I have my recording and editing and uploading routine. Then I have my hobbies and activities and friends. I have a routine for how do I set that up? When am I going to show up? When am I going to fit it in? How am I going to calendar that? I have a planning routine. I have a monthly reset that I do with you guys. I have all of these things that are what I need to create as routines. Now, anything and everything can be a system and a routine. Really get into the nitty-gritty. If it all worked out and you had this perfect life, what would you do monthly? What would you do weekly? And what would you do daily? Now, again, we talk about these energy levels. We talk about understanding that we go through cycles. We have slump times, and there's so much that can happen. So you're never going to be 100% on that ideal. Ideal routines are those days when you are ready to go all in, get into the detail, get focused, and show up for your best self, for the most successful self, that person who has that 100% energy that day to give it 100% of 100% of who you are. And what that's going to look like is time blocking, focused tasks, a little bit of everything, where those systems are the most successful, where you can really prioritize each day, each moment with a mission, a plan, and intention. That's what I want you to think about when you're doing your ideal routines. But then there's days where you're at like 50 to 70% and you're not fully energized, but you are still ready to be productive. What do you do on those days, right? You have to find that balance of habit stacking, automatic, having a plan, maybe doing a plan for the week, right? Where it's a little bit more automatic. You know, these days are going to be a bit busier, that the basics are achieved and a little bit more. And you take time for rest, for that energy flow, to do one thing to the next with a little bit of grace in between. You're not just going from one time block to another time block to focus. And know throughout the week when you have that. A lot of us work, and that's where I want to connect with you guys. I have a 9 to 5, and that my 9 to 5, Mondays are pretty slow, Wednesdays are pretty slow, but Tuesdays can be really, really busy, and Thursdays are really busy because Friday, I literally do not have a breather. Friday is my go day. So what do I plan usually throughout the week is Thursday is my rest day. Thursday is my prep day where I can get stuff done at home. I don't go to the gym. I kind of take a step back from bigger things, and I find that balance day where I'm not showing up in every single way, but on a Monday or a Wednesday, I'm going all in. And on a Friday, I'm going to go to the gym so I feel energized, but it's an easier day for me. Usually it's a full body, just really simple, moving my body, making sure I sweat so that I can go all in for my job. And that night is a slump night for me. Friday nights are our family slump night. We just watch TV, we watch movies, we really just do fend for yourself dinner. Nobody makes dinner, and everyone kind of goes on their own. So it is a bit balanced. But then there are days when you are sick, you have no energy, and you just want to slump all day. It's okay to have those days because these are the must-do days. What is quick to the point where you can give yourself grace and understand the energy that you're in. This is usually anywhere from 5 to 25%. More self-care, how you can recalibrate, reset, and only do the must-dos to survive through those days. So that is pretty much Fridays for me. I do my movement because I need it to survive, wake up, go, go, go. But I take a slower morning. I make sure that there's less chores I have to do, less activities that I have to do, and then I take a step back when I know at the end of the day, my night routine on Fridays are terrible. Our house stays a mess, but Saturday I do all my chores and all my cleaning. And so when you're doing this, make sure that you are making sure that all the must-dos must be done, but you can really slow down, take your time, and have less tasks on that routine. When we're talking about the essentials, the balance, the ideal, we give each part of our routine options between your workouts, the type of dinners you have, how you clean, the activities you do, the family time, your friend time, and you communicate this with other people around you. Don't expect others to understand what you have going on if things change or the energy that you can give. Communication is key with your husband, with your significant other, with the people around you, your family, your friends, your coworkers. They need to understand how you are giving your energy today. They need to understand how you're going to show up. They need to understand that you are just giving 100% of what you have today, and that's all that you can do. Showing up at 1%, at 100%, is better than not showing up at all. It's really important that those days where I'm at 100, I tell people I'm in a great mood, I'm giving my all. Understand I'm gonna be like an Energizer buddy, but that's just me. I'm not expecting you to follow me in that, but these are the things I'm gonna try to accomplish, and please let me live that life and really show up for myself. And then there's days where I'm at 10-15% at work. I just don't feel good. I didn't get enough sleep. I feel like I'm not doing well, or I just can't get stuff done around the house. I communicate that with my husband. I say, today's just not my day. I'm not going to be able to do my normal routine. Just give me grace. I will get back to it as soon as I can. If you want to help me, you have the energy, great. Same with work. Hey, today's not my day. I will give it my all that I have, but don't expect me to go over and beyond. Now, do this with grace. Understand that there's going to be busy days where you can only give the essentials, but then you can get out of work and have all this energy and maybe have more of a balanced evening, or really feel like there's a lot of areas of life that you need to touch, that you need to hit some essentials, some balance, and some ideal for different areas of life and different routines. You create your days, you create your routine, and you choose what consistency and routines and actions and goals that you have, because it's important that you do not fall into a slump or a comfortable atmosphere, and that you understand that you cannot show up for one of these routines more than 2 to 3 times. So that means I don't want you to fall into essentials for nighttime routine all through the week, or if it's something weekly, more than 2 times a month, or if it's monthly, only do it for 1 month and then try to get back. Because give yourself change daily. Make sure that you are understanding where your peaks and flows are, that you're not burning out in one area of life, and that you have time to adjust and look ahead on exactly how you can set your routine so that you catch yourself before you fall. We talk about falling out of a slump. We talk about how to really catch yourself, but stop waiting for motivation. Create an unstoppable plan, an unstoppable routine, and by doing these essentials, balance, and ideal, you are taking control back of your life. Let me remind you, this is a system, not a routine. You have the control of setting the systems. What is it at today? And not everything has to be so structured. We are human, we are flowing, we are people who are ready to balance our life and build the life of our dreams. And it's important that you believe in yourself on the lowest days, the highest days, and everything in between. Because if not, you will never bloom and you will not become this best person. And if you don't have those ideal days, you're never going to get to next level. But if you need that rest day, need that essentials, and you just need to do the bare minimum, that's okay. Give yourself the grace. We are human. We are all different. We are all on our own path. We don't know what's going on in each other's lives. So understand to not compare. But I do hope that I inspire you to start showing up, be more disciplined, be more productive, and really become next level. And if you want to see more of me, please subscribe and follow me over on Instagram. I've been way more consistent over there, where I share all of the ways that you can believe to become and showing you the life of just becoming the next level and supporting one another and being part of this journey together. So as always, keep believing, keep building, keep balancing, and bloom until you become. And I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.